The distinction exists. It is real, observable, and far more legible than the avoidance management system would prefer it to be, because the avoidance management system works hardest to make the distinction invisible, to present a consistent enough exterior across different connections that the specific quality of investment in any one person cannot be clearly differentiated from the specific quality of investment in another. The self-sufficiency narrative requires this consistency. The less invested in everyone positioning requires that the investment appear roughly equivalent across connections. The admission that one person generates a qualitatively different interior experience from another person, that one person is the one and the others are the options, would require the acknowledgement of the specific, significant, this person-only investment that the narrative is most specifically designed to conceal. But the concealment is imperfect. The management is sophisticated but not complete, and the specific qualitative difference between how the avoidant inhabits their engagement with the one they truly love versus how they inhabit their engagement with everyone else, the options, the comfortable connections, the people who generate genuine warmth but not the specific, destabilizing, interior-reaching quality of the genuine love, is visible in the texture of the engagement, in the specific tells that the previous pieces have examined, in the pattern of the behavior over time, rather than in any single definitive moment. How the avoidant treats the one they truly love. The treatment of the genuine love is characterized, paradoxically, by more difficulty, not more overt conflict necessarily, though conflict may be more present, but more of the specific qualities that genuine investment in another person produces in someone whose attachment system experiences genuine investment as a form of threat. The avoidant is more destabilized by the one they truly love. The interactions carry more interior weight. The management protocol runs harder, requires more resources, is more visibly effortful in the moments when the effort exceeds the management's capacity to conceal it. The person who truly occupies the interior generates more of the specific avoidant behaviors, the withdrawal, the inconsistency, the warmth followed by retreat, precisely because they generate more of the genuine feeling that these behaviors are designed to manage against. This is one of the most counterintuitive aspects of the avoidance relational behavior for the people who are on the receiving end of it. The people who matter most receive the behavior that most clearly communicates the mattering as a problem. The withdrawal is proportional to the caring. The inconsistency is proportional to the investment. The retreat is proportional to how close the person has gotten. The avoidant treats the one they truly love with the specific, unrelenting, exhausting difficulty of someone who is continuously managing against the full force of a genuine interior investment that their psychological structure was not designed to sustain comfortably. The treatment is harder because the feeling is larger. The behavior is more problematic because the attachment is more real. Specifically, the avoidant thinks about the one they truly love when they are not with them. Not in the controlled, occasional way of someone whose engagement with a connection is well managed. In the involuntary, intrusive, arising without permission way of a preoccupation. The thoughts are not chosen. They arrive in the spaces between other things and resist the redirection that the management applies to most intrusive interior events. The avoidant is more physically present with the one they truly love, in the specific sense of the quality of presence rather than the quantity of time. The attention is more focused. The listening has the specific, oriented quality examined in the sign-reading pieces. The engagement in the windows when it is genuine and unmanaged has a depth that the avoidant's engagement with the options simply does not possess. The avoidant is more protective of the one they truly love, the specific, involuntary, doing it before they can decide, whether to quality of protectiveness that emerges in the unguarded moments, the stepping in, the quiet defense, the attentiveness to what is happening around this specific person is present in a way that is not present with the options. The avoidant is more likely to break their own rules for the one they truly love. The rules examined in the piece on the super empath's detachment: do not pursue, do not demonstrate investment exceeding the other person's, do not move toward, are maintained with everyone else. With the genuine love, they break. not consistently, not always visibly, not without the management's immediate effort to repair the breach. But they break. The rule breaking is the interior's investment overcoming the management's governance in the specific moments when the investment is larger than the management can contain. The avoidant regrets with the one they truly love. The specific, private, carrying it forward quality of regret examined in multiple previous pieces. The regret about the treatment, the regret about the timing, the regret that arrives too late and stays permanently, is generated by the genuine love. The options do not generate this quality of regret. They generate the ordinary, processable, narrative accommodatable loss of someone who was engaged with and is now past. The genuine love generates the permanent, specific, affecting the interior landscape regret of someone who had something irreplaceable and managed it instead of meeting it. How the avoidant treats the option. The option is not treated cruelly. This needs to be established immediately because the distinction between the genuine love and the option can sound, in its implication, like the avoidant is exploiting or disrespecting the people in the option category. This is not the accurate picture. The options are people the avoidant genuinely likes, often genuinely cares for, and engages with, warmly and authentically within the limits of what the engagement requires. The difference is not in the quality of the caring. It is in the specific quality of what the caring produces in the avoidance interior. The option does not reach the interior at the depth that the genuine love reaches it. This is not a verdict on the option's worth. It is a description of the avoidant's specific response to the specific configuration of who the option is versus who the genuine love is. The avoidant is more comfortable with the options. The engagement flows more easily. The management protocol has less to manage. The intimacy pressure is lower. The interior investment is less. The specific threat that genuine closeness represents is not activated in the same way or at the same intensity. The interactions are warmer, in a sense, because they are not complicated by the management's full deployment. The avoidant can be present in a more apparently genuine way because the presence is not competing with the management's resource consumption the way the genuine love's presence is. The avoidance engagement with the options is sustainable in a way that the engagement with the genuine love is not. This is the tell, and it is the most important one. The avoidant can maintain consistent warmth, consistent availability, consistent engagement with the options across extended periods without the cycle of closeness and retreat that characterizes the engagement with the genuine love, because the options are not generating the specific interior disruption that requires the management protocol to cycle through its distancing function. The avoidant can simply be present, genuinely, warmly, without the exhausting counterpressure of managing the full force of genuine investment, in a way that looks, from the outside, more like what a healthy connection should look like. But the sustainability is not intimacy. It is the absence of the threat that genuine intimacy creates. The avoidant can be consistent with the options because the options have not reached the interior in the way that requires the management to generate the inconsistency. The consistency is the evidence of the lower stakes, not the evidence of greater caring. The avoidant does not think about the options when they are not with them in the involuntary, preoccupying way they think about the genuine love. The options do not generate the specific, intrusive, arising without permission quality of interior presence. They are thought of when they are relevant, when interaction is planned or has recently occurred, without the continuous background orientation that the genuine love installs. The avoidant does not break their rules for the options. The management protocol runs smoothly. The positioning as the less invested party is maintained without significant effort. The distance is calibrated without the option's presence generating the specific, rule-breaking interior pressure that the genuine love generates. The options do not permanently alter the avoidance interior landscape. The connection with an option, when it ends, is processed and moved past with the narrative efficiency of someone whose management system is fully adequate to the size of the loss. It is genuinely missed, genuinely regretted in the ordinary way, and then integrated into the past with the naturalness of something that has been adequately processed, It does not install itself as a permanent feature of the interior, does not remain as the standard against which subsequent connections are measured, does not produce the specific, forever quality of bonding examined in the previous piece. The cruelty of the distinction, and there is a cruelty to it, however unintentional, is that the treatment that communicates genuine love in the avoidance psychology is the treatment that most resembles neglect or inconsistency or insufficient caring to the person receiving it. The genuine love gets the difficulty, the cycle, the management-full engagement that looks like ambivalence. The option gets the consistent warmth and sustainable engagement that looks like what a good connection is supposed to look like. The person who is receiving the difficulty is receiving it because they matter enough to activate the full force of the avoidance attachment fear. The person who is receiving the consistency is receiving it because they have not generated the activation. This does not make the difficulty acceptable. The genuine love, whatever it is generating in the avoidance interior, deserves better than the management's continuous output. The fact that the difficulty is the evidence of the love does not make the difficulty less costly or more acceptable to the person bearing it. It simply makes it legible, explainable, the product of the avoidance specific, structural, fear-driven response to something real rather than the product of disinterest or insufficient caring. If you are the one the avoidant truly loves, the difficulty you have been experiencing is the evidence, not of your insufficiency, of your significance, not of the connection's inadequacy, of the connection's depth. And if you are the option, if the engagement has been consistent and warm and sustainable in a way that has felt in its consistency like something real, the consistency is also evidence of something genuine but different, of the avoidance capacity for warmth in the absence of the specific, full-force, management-consuming interior investment that the genuine love produces. Neither position is the full picture of what you deserve. What you deserve is someone who loves you with the full force of the genuine love and has the capacity to express it without the management's continuous intervention, converting the love into inconsistency and difficulty and the specific, exhausting cycle that genuine love in the avoidant produces. What you deserve is the love and the capacity in the same person at the same time, without the management standing between the feeling and its expression. That is what genuine connection is, and you are always worth holding out for it.